another thing that's larger than the self is society. And you could say that social questions then are beyond the realm of science, as indeed they have proved to be. And
well, I prefer, my position about society is that it is on the same footing as the ego. Neither one is the higher self. And the ego is a vehicle that the higher self uses to learn things and attain more competence. But it's necessary to have society there too. You couldn't just have the ego functioning in a vacuum. Now that comes up, if you don't mind my mentioning it, the problem of the ego, which is to learn to think for itself as over and against the group thinking, the group soul, which is the part of society, you see. And that puts society lower than the ego. That
does put society lower than the ego. The question, I mean, do you see that society is limited, is inherently limited to this tribal sort of group soul, or species-wide group soul thing, or is society, is it possible for society?
Well, you realize for me this was a concession to make it the equal of yourself.
So you,
I don't want to make it
society
larger.
way down there. It's not being the direction in which we're evolving towards, and yet of course we always have to live in society. So as we continue, if the direction of evolution is towards individuation, what does this say about the future of society?
Well, now you're trying to condense it all too much. The direction of evolution is toward individuation until the individual has achieved all he can do as an individual. This is what Brunner calls the fork. And after that point, the self then has to find some other anchor than its own ego-ness, some other compass, shall I say. And that would be the time when you created a real society. But that would be a society of super beings who had completed the needs of ego nourishment, so that there wouldn't be any fighting about ego. It would be one great being, if you like. But it wouldn't be a society in the sense that I see a society now, which is a number of egos on a competitive basis with one another. I'm sorry that this is so complicated.
No, that's, you are getting to the point.
You can see another aspect of society in the organized aspect of it, the big companies or the Bell Telephone or the electric light companies. Here you have organization which gives man more freedom. And I just don't agree with the people who want to wipe out all organizations, because they wouldn't have any telephones or any sewers or water pipes or anything. I mean, a lot of that, traffic laws, for instance, a necessary organization which, by falling in line with it, you have more freedom. If you insisted on being rebellious and always move against traffic, you'd soon get smashed up. So that kind of society, in the sense of a system of laws or a hierarchy even, is a way of gaining more freedom. We have much more freedom because we use airlines than if we had to walk.